so amazing for me. Before this war breaks out, I never thought of Europe like this. That I see no sovereignty, I see no freedom in Europe. They cannot see their benefits. Europe suffering a lot because their need of energy that comes from Russia.
Look, it's a statement of fact. The reality is, if we take a look at the role that Russian gas has played in European development over the past 5, 6 decades, um, we can make the following conclusion. Europe, and the high standard of living that it enjoys, the free education, the free healthcare, the long vacations, good standard of living, et cetera, this only happened because of cheap Russian gas. If Europe had to pay full market value for energy, they wouldn't be enjoying all these perks. So Europe became accustomed to this, but then the other reality is that Europe is 100% beholden to the United States politically and militarily. That without the United States being there, NATO countries would go bankrupt by trying to build the military necessary to defend themselves from a potential Russian enemy. They need the United States. They also want to continue to be players in the so-called rules-based international order that the United States imposed on the world in the aftermath of the Second World War. Nobody wants to get away with that because there was no alternative. But today there's an alternative. It's called BRICS. BRICS is an alternative to the G7. BRICS is better than the G7. The G7 is no longer the G7. If it's the 7 most developed economies in the world, many of them are dropping out. Germany won't qualify very soon. France won't qualify. England won't qualify. So what's G4? Well, the European Union won't qualify, so they're out. Come on, it's a joke. BRICS, on the other hand, is doing quite well. The economies are stable and growing. This currency, the petrodollar, they're walking away from the petrodollar of the world. Europe is trapped by its own addiction to American support. They don't know how to lead themselves. They aren't sovereign nations. They're confused. And the ultimate expression of confusion is Germany, which is staying silent while the United States blows up a pipeline and then remaining silent while their people suffer because of American policies, and they're unable or unwilling to call America out on this. It's a sad state of affairs. The only, I guess, light that one can see is the potential that there would be revolutionary change this winter, that the situation becomes so bad that the people will rise up, kick out these corrupt political and economic elites and replace them with some sort of political power that cares more about the people than they do about power. If that's the case, then Europe will be able to once again get on its feet. I don't know if they'll ever be able to rebuild to where they were before this, but at least they won't be a third world nation. But they'll have to use Russian gas to make this happen. Whether that gas comes from a rebuilt Nord Stream 2 or it comes from an expanded TurkStream or a combination of the two, they're going to need Russian gas.
Today, Putin said that one of the lines of the Nord Stream 2 is working, still is working. But he said he doesn't know if he's gonna send anything by this pipeline. And
well, he can't. It's not his decision. Germany is the one who shut down the pipeline. Germany is the one that said that Russia can't flow gas until certain regulatory, procedures are met. But it's a pure smokescreen. Germany was doing the United States bidding and coming up with a legalistic approach to stop it. Plus there's EU sanctions. Even if Germany wanted to open up the pipeline, they couldn't because EU sanctions Russian energy. So I don't think Putin has said all along, if you want the gas, it's here. We'll sell it to you for rubles. But no, Germany's not in a position to buy it because they've locked themselves in policy-wise. Right now, the only hope for Europe is TurkStream.
Today he was talking about a new pipeline and gas hub in Turkey. He was suggesting it to Erdogan. How do you see this movement of Putin? His concentration was on the West before this, but he's shifting his view to the East. How do you see this movement of Putin?
Well, I mean, it's a movement that's been facilitated 100% by the United States and Europe. It's the United States that sanctioned the totality of the Russian economy, compelling Russia to divorce itself from the Western economy, pivot east, and to try to link up with China and India and other Asian countries. When TurkStream was first built, the United States and Europe said, "Don't even think about becoming an energy hub. You're not. It's not going to happen. We're not going to let that happen." But Turkey always envisioned itself as becoming an energy hub. Why? Because you make a lot of money being an energy hub. But now Germany can't be an energy hub. Nord Stream 1 and half of Nord Stream 2 is shut down. If Putin builds this second pipeline for TurkStream, the Turks can become a viable energy hub selling billions of cubic meters of gas to Europe. It will require Europe to make the decision that they're going to allow Russian gas, but at least that gas will be available and will be an option.